Good morning. Welcome to this service of Unity of Burden. We're glad that you're with us, and want you to know that in the next hour, I expect to be blessed because I'm in a place where blessings happen. I know that everyone out there feels the same way too. This is, as you know, when I say, the house that love built. I did want to say something to you all who have written in and talked to me and any other way communicated about our Sunday morning video. We are having growing pains right now. We're having some buffering issues and latency issues and big words that have to do with video and all that. But rest assured, we're doing our best to get this situation remedied. So be patient with us and just sit back, enjoy yourself. Consider this an hour you give to yourself for your regeneration. We'll be talking about expectation this morning. And so I'm so happy you're with us. And if you're blessed by this broadcast, I ask you to send your gift to Unity of Bernie, P.O. Box 1973, Bernie, Texas 78006. That's P.O. Box 1973, Bernie, Texas 78006. Or you can press the PayPal button that's on your page right now. So glad you're with us, and as usual, come join the family.
Good morning.
As we prepare to begin, please remember to quiet or turn off your cell phones. Ye are the fruits of one tree, the leaves of one branch. Deal ye one with another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. So powerful is the light of unity that it illuminates the whole earth. My name is Pam. In addition to having Dana Clark and Tbow providing our music, Tom Allen is in charge of the PowerPoint slides, and David is our video tech today. Thank you all for being part of the service. Please stand. Voice on 272 in AM upon a midnight clear.
Came upon the midnight clear, that
we can all greet you today.
Hello, my name is Valerie Zapula. I'm visiting here with my mom, who's visiting her cousin Rick. We're here from Canada, and we're so happy to be here and enjoying this beautiful warmth, not only in weather but in spirit. So thank you.
Welcome.
Inside your bulletin, you will find.
Welcome.
It's okay, Valerie really did introduce me. I'm really happy to be here. We both came down from Canada to celebrate Rick's momentous birthday. And I'm really happy to, it's not actually my first time. I was here 5 years ago.
I remember.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lynette. I live in Fair Oaks, and I just met Ann not too long ago, so came to check it out.
Hey, welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. Inside your bulletin, you will find a prayer request form for any prayer requests. You can drop them in the offering basket later, and they will be put with our other prayer requests. Our own prayer team prays over them for a week, and they are also sent to Silent Unity, where they are prayed over for a month. Please remember that we reuse the jackets of the order of service throughout the month. Most of the current info is printed on the insert, and you are welcome to take that with you. Please feel free to pick up a complimentary November, December Daily Word from the back table. We are always collecting dry goods, toiletries, etc. to pass on to the various burning groups to help those in need. The container is always at the front door each week where you can put in any of your donations. Please join us for our potluck lunch and Christmas party after the service. You are welcome to stay even if you didn't bring a dish. Ladies, our monthly lunch will resume in January, and we are breaking for the holiday season. We have a lot of things coming up this month. After potluck, today is our Christmas party. Bring your wrapped gift, if you have it. On Tuesday, December 24th, we will have our candle lighting service at 6:30 p.m. On Tuesday evening, December 31st, we will have our burning bowl ceremony at 6:30. It's out with the old and in with the new. A great way to release the unwanted and reaffirm that which you want to manifest for 2025. Ann King is facilitating an Edgar Casey study group every second and fourth Friday from 10 a.m. to noon here at Unity. If you are interested in attending, let Ann know. Put you on the notification list so you can RSVP and receive copies of the material for that week. There are some flyers on the back shelf under the bulletin board. Sunday morning book discussion every Sunday from 9:30 to 10:30 in the fellowship room. Come for coffee, tea, and stimulating conversation. We are reading and discussing The Gift of Change by Marianne Williamson. In this honest and uplifting book, best-selling author Marianne Williamson delves deeply into the powerful role of change in our lives today. If you're here for the first time, or if you're not getting our weekly emails, we have a sign-in sheet on the desk at the front door, and if you would like to leave your name and email address, we will put you on the list to receive the monthly newsletters, weekly announcements about the upcoming Sunday service, and occasional reminders and special notices. If you have been attending and aren't getting notices, put your name down again. You can unsubscribe at any time. As you all know, our church donates to local charities. If a church member has a charity they want to see donations go to, please tell a board member. We do rotate our monthly donations to those on the list. We have several things happening weekly on Zoom. They are listed in your order of service and also on our website. Now we will have the daily word read by Theresa.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As we quietly and gently prepare for the reading of the daily word, we remember that we are in spirit with millions of daily word readers and churches throughout the world. The Christ candle is lit as a reminder of the Spirit of God within all of us, which we call the Christ within. The word for today is love. The affirmation is, on my Advent journey, I abide in love. One of the most beloved verses of Scripture calls to me to recognize love as the greatest of spiritual blessings. Today I will take the words of the Apostle Paul to heart and abide in love everywhere I go. To the marketplace, I spread my warmth with kind interactions with clerks and fellow customers. At meetings, whether work-related or social, I offer words of cheer that greet everyone as a beloved child of God. I express my love in moments of unconditional appreciation to all people. The more I look for reasons to share my love, the more I will find, especially during the Advent season, there are many opportunities to visit, to care, to give. I will choose the ones that fill my heart to overflowing. Today, I will abide in love. The scripture is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. And now faith, hope, and love abide. These three, and the greatest of these is love. My name is Theresa. Thank you for worshiping with us at our Unity of Learning today.
Thank you, Teresa.
Please stand for celebration song. 279, Angels We Have Heard on High. create no other way. Could we
We would see the pattern of our days. We should discern how devious were the ways by which we came to this, the present time, this place in life, and we should see the climb our soul has made up through the years. We should forget the hurts, the wanderings, the fears, the wastelands of our life, and know that we could come no other way or grow into our good without steps, feet found hard to take, our faith found hard to meet, and the road of life winds on, and we like travelers go from turn to turn, until we come to know the truth that life is endless, and there is a forever evidence of our eternity.
please remain standing for our opening prayer? Together.
Unity of Burning is a vibrant, loving, spiritual community, providing a sacred space for personal growth. We honor and celebrate the Christ in all people.
Please be seated. I will now turn it over to Reverend Jay for the blessing of the prayer requests and the remainder of the service.
And a very happy good morning to you, and Merry Christmas holiday season. We just rolled the whole month kind of in together. I've been celebrating Christmas early this year because, well, why not? It's a month for it, and so I'm so glad to see. I always have to see a full house here. It's just wonderful. You bless me with your presence. I hope you're blessed this morning. I'd like to mention a couple of things while you're filling out your prayer requests, and you'll find those, of course, in the middle of the bulletin. And Sherry will be coming forward with that box, and you can fill out the forms, and place them in there. One of the things that I'd like to mention is that our own Facebook, she does our
Social media.
She does our online broadcast, facilitates it on our service as it is broadcast every Sunday. And she was named Employee of the Year by her Connolly Memorial Hospital, where she works. And her name is Bertie Shocker. Did I leave that out?
Yes.
And so, big congratulations to her. I know she deserves it. I've seen her grow in so many ways, and I know you all agree with me, and those of you who have met her know about her dedication and her wonderful work. So, I want to mention that. And as far as prayer requests, I told you, asked you to put them in a box, and I would like for you to uphold everyone this month, this time of year, who is going through a challenging time at Christmas. You know, the holidays are not so fun for some people. They bring back some memories that some people are alone. Some people feel despondent. It's unfortunately true that the suicide rates go up during the holidays. We want to remember those folks. We remember the people who right now feel marginalized. And I'm going to get on a sermon about that. I'll mention it a little bit later. But those that are on the margins, if you're tuning in this morning, you're not on the margins. You're with a loving group of people that, if you're able, I hope you will come and be part of this wonderful group called Unity of Burning. You can't stay depressed very long in this group. So, anybody have any, if you're finished with the request, you don't have any put in the box, we're going to do what we do the best here, and that's uphold affirmative prayer. Okay. Gracious and loving infinite presence. How wonderful it is to come before you and know that you're inside us as well as around us, that we live and move and have our being with you. In this box represents all manner of human upsets, human frailties, concerns, situations, and joys. one thing we know is you are with them always. And as a united group right now, we affirm that good is happening in the lives of these folks. That they turn within and find the answer, that you are always with us, no matter what difficulty, no matter what we must face, how we do it, you are there. And when we lean on these everlasting arms, we are guided. We affirm good, we affirm beauty, we affirm love. Your perfect will is being done, and in this group, right now, in a united way, we affirm this and say, it is so. Amen.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. And folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really knows how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, yes, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to
Doesn't take very many, it can be just 2 or 3, and I feel that same sweet spirit I've felt tough times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can hear His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
And now comes a time in our service where we turn inward, remember who we are. We take a moment to inhale, receive inspiration, and exhale, becoming grounded, aware of where we are. With our feet on the floor, our hands in our lap, whatever way is usual for you to do this, you're in the presence of the one who loves you more than you could ever know. It expresses in you, as you, and through you. And in this upcoming time of silence, we remember ourselves. What is necessary for us to know, we know. What is ours to do, we do. And in this sacred time, we remember ourselves and our own power. In him was the light. The light dwelt fullness of humankind. We declare now we are full of light. We're aware of who we are. We entrust ourselves to this power. We understand it. We are remade, renewed, recreated, and refreshed. And we say, this is so. Wow. Did my best. Wasn't that wonderful? He deserves another hand. He was great.
Daniel wasn't bad either.
Oh, well, yeah. That's what I said, both of them. Good morning, one and all. I'm so glad you're here. It always does my heart good to see us full, because with the Spirit flows through all of us. I feel it. People have said it. We know it. We know what this experience of Unity of Bernie is. If you're out there watching and haven't had a chance to come, and I know many of you are in other cities, but if you're nearby and you're able to, I invite you to come be part of the wonderful group of people doing wonderful things. This morning I want to talk to you about the power of expectancy. You know, in great part in our lives, we get what we expect. Now, there are a lot of people that say, well, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that. How did that happen? I had worked so hard this way. I had done so much that way. How? Why? Oh, the everlasting question, why? And to a certain extent, because we live in a world that is relative, there are going to be crossings of energies that pass in front of us and around us. I've said that life is very much like a broadcasting station of radio. And what you're tuned to inside, you're going to receive. The old folks in metaphysics a long time ago said you become what you think about. And that thoughts are things. And the latest in neuroplasticity talks about the fact that you can actually create new neural pathways in the mind. A particular train of thought persisted in sort of forms a groove in your mind. Now, the fancy name for it is glutamate. And glutamate is part of what I'm talking about, but it doesn't sound very romantic. It's a clinical word, but it is really what neuroplasticity physically is all about. In other words, when you break a habit, or when you decide to think in a new way, any of you that have ever done that, you have proven the power, or maybe I should have said the power of neuroplasticity, but that's not very romantic either. So, what I'm really talking about is a particular train of thought persisted in will manifest things in your life after a period of time. And you can do that whether you're conscious of it or you're unconscious of it. Have you ever seen folks that are accident prone? Those who say, I don't know, well, it just came out of left field and hit me. I should have known. I've always had this kind of stuff happen to me. It's just what I expect after all these years. And what they don't know is that they're crafting like an architect's blueprints. They're crafting their own future by the words that they say. And most importantly, the words that they believe about themselves and about other people. Now this glutamate stuff is just the way it works physically. You supply the motive power. You're the one that, in large part, directs these chemicals into the new neural connections that are formed. You know, what's called antidepressants, that many people go out and take, is just an artificial way, and sometimes a very necessary way, for new neurons to meet synapses and come together and make new moods, new trains of thought. And I'm not knocking that. They've been very helpful for many folks. Well, what I'm saying is you carry your own kit of antidepressant inside you. It was born in you. It's hardwired in you. It's called the ability to change your thoughts, the ability to take control of your life, the ability to, in large part, craft your destiny by the way you think. We celebrate in a very few days a small baby in a manger. We love that innocence. We love to see that, you know, that represents love incarnate. But that baby grew up and he told us how to live. I've come that you have life and have it more abundantly. And those who were around him healed in his presence. There's even a story about a woman who touched the hem of his garment and was healed. And Jesus was aware that the power had gone out of him. He turned around and said, "Who touched me?" How did that? He was an aware and awake and alive person. And he said the things that he did, you could do also. It's time, there's time for looking at the baby in the manger. It's sweet, it's wonderful. Wrapped in swaddling clothes, 3 wise men, the whole nativity, all that. I love it. This is the time of year for it. But then as we move on, it's time for us to take our steps, although they may be baby steps, and grow into the Christ that we are meant to be. The Christ that is promised us. The Old Testament is full of promises from prophets who said there is one coming who will shake this mighty world. And many people thought he was going to form an earthly kingdom. His kingdom was much more important than that. Much more vital, much more necessary. It was the kingdom that's within you. Within you dwells the power that scares some folks. I'm telling you something. To be honest about it, sometimes it scared me a little bit because I want to make sure that I am looking towards my future with the best eye. How can I know all the things that I may be called on to face? And then I remember my divine insurance policy. You all probably know it and heard me say it a million times. Whenever I ask for something, I put on the end of it this or something better for the highest good of all concerned. And then whatever I have to meet, I kind of know that's mine to deal with. And I've had to meet some things that are very challenging, especially this past year. Everybody does this in one way or another, sooner or later. But what do you expect? I want to ask you this question, not just rhetorically, but I want to get sort of in there with you and ask you, if you or I were sitting across the desk from each other, and I asked you, what do you expect out of life? What do you expect of yourself? What do you expect to happen? Would there be a script that you would hear, you would follow in your mind? Would you say, well, I expect to be a certain way because it feels good, it doesn't change, and at least I can kind of know what's going to happen? Or do you say, I expect some great things, and I may not know what they are, but I know they're going to be wonderful because I'm backing all the divine energy I have into the power of expectation. What do you think the wise men and the people did with Jesus? They were expecting something wonderful and miraculous, and they got it. And what they got was a teacher who said, if you give your life to me, I'm going to give it right back to you. So many people want to bow down to a Messiah and a Savior. There's nothing wrong with that posture. There's nothing wrong with honoring the Christ. Oh, but to follow and then to be that Christ is something. The Christ consciousness is available every minute of every day. The trouble is that our egos clash with that sometimes. We want to do it our way instead of listening to that still small voice that's available to everyone, every place, at all times. You have the God-given ability to change your mind. And then whether it's called glutamate or neurons or synapses, they line up and they follow your intention. Have you ever heard the term act as if? Assume the virtue if you have it not. If you feel powerless this morning, if you feel like life has just gotten a little too rough, I invite you to step back, take a deep breath, and remember who you are. Remember what you're about. Don't let those things, those ideals that you may have had in your lifetime die on the vine from lack of attention. You have a mission here. You have a mighty purpose here. You know, sometimes, and I would say most of the time, the best way to help people change is to be the example. I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. When you see someone who has got the power that I'm talking about, walking through their lives, you know they've got something. And many times you want it. You want to say, how did you do that? How did you come by this? I know it happened to me with a woman way back in the 80s. I knew I wanted what she had. She was a Christian Science practitioner. And nothing in any way fazed her. Sure, she met disappointments and sadness and upset, but she met it with assurance or knowledge of who she was. Her neural pathways were lined up in assurance of and expectancy of the good that comes into us if we let it. Coming to God isn't so much getting something. It is the falling away of things that are not like what you want to experience. You lose a sense of judgment. You lose a sense of condemnation. You lose fear. You see, all these things flee in the light. It doesn't matter how long a room has been dark when you flip on the light. And it doesn't matter how long you persisted in a train of thought when you decide to take control of your life and walk in a new direction. I love seeing that. As a counselor, a pastor, when I have seen somebody light up to what we teach and take control of their own mind, which is the only thing you really have control over, and walk in a new direction and say, I'm not going to think about myself the way I did. I'm going to give up drinking. I'm going to give up overeating. I'm going to get out of this relationship that hurts. Or I'm going to get into a new relationship because I feel regular. When somebody makes a decision like that, the whole universe lines up behind their intention. It's as if you're saying, this is what I want, and I'm going to act as if I have it. And then have you noticed that things kind of flow in behind you and in a way help follow your intention? The power of expectancy is really, that's what I'm talking about this morning, the expectation of good rather than the expectation of things being as they always have been. When Jesus was born, things had been one way for hundreds of years. How did they expect? What did they expect when they said, when Jesus said, man was not born for the Sabbath, the Sabbath is for man. He talked things like that and got in trouble for it. Because the religious authorities of his day did not like Jesus reminding people that they had the power. But that's what any good teacher does. That's what any good minister does. Remind the folks that are in front of you or who come across your path that you own the power. That you are not small and weak and fearful and afraid. As a practitioner of religious science, I have said in front of people when they're talking, I remember, I get a little ahead of myself, I remember a great religious science practitioner by the name of Carmelita Trowbridge. She was back in the 40s and the 50s. And when people would come to her with the tale of woe that they had in their life, she would be praying. She'd put her head in her hand and she would say, whispering, not a word of truth in it. Not a word of truth in it. Not a word of truth in it. She wasn't going to agree with their negative assessments of themselves. It wasn't that she was denying the facts of what the people were saying. She was denying that that was the ultimate truth about them. People would get so intertwined in their own drama and think that they've been one way too long to change. And the truth of the matter is, as long as you can change your mind, you can change. Changing your mind is the only thing that you really have to do to begin with, because out of that proceeds everything else. So you can see why the expectancy that I'm talking about is vitally important. What have you expected for yourself in your life? Look back till now. Take a mental note of it right now and ask yourself, what idea did I have about myself however many years ago? What idea did I have about myself, and what is the fruition of that today, or the lack of fruition of that? It's been said, it's never too late to be what you might have been. Now, I understand that in the way that no matter what I do, I'm not going to play quarterback for the Houston Texans. And I'm not going to go out here and run a 2-minute mile or something like that. What it means is, it's never too late to grasp on to that innocence, that wonderful love inside you that lit up to life, especially when you're young. And so many times we get older, we lose that sense of wonder. We become, as they call it, jaded. We expect another holiday, another time. Some folks are very sad during this time of year, as I mentioned. And some, unfortunately, choose to take the most precious gift and throw it away through an act of self-destruction. And there are many ways to destroy yourself. One of the ways that people do it most is through the negative use of their minds. Because everything in your life has its precedent in the mind. Think about it. Now, you may have something you didn't expect come across your path, but your habitual way of dealing with life determines how you're going to meet it. What kind of pathways are you forming? Let's say, in your mind, and say, I'm open and ready and receptive to receive my good. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter the situation. Was there any time in Jesus' life, his earthly ministry, where he said, you're too old, you've been that way too long? Matter of fact, I've read in the scriptures where a man who had an issue laying by a river for 30, 40 years, in his presence, in the presence of Jesus, got up and walked. Didn't matter the time. Does it say how old the prodigal son was? I don't know. Came to himself and ran and met a father whose arms were wide open. Didn't say, you've done this too long. Why did you? How could you? What's wrong with you? Nothing but open arms of love. Can you meet yourself that way this morning? Can you tune out the voices that have told you you're less than who you are? Can you forget Take the lessons from and forget the relationships where somebody decided to put you down, to make you feel less than. Because when you do that, when you feel less than, you're going to spend a lifetime trying to prove to yourself that you're more than. It's going to be a life where you're on a hamster wheel. Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Somebody tell me. Somebody affirm it over and over. When you feel it inside yourself, it's priceless. When you have to have somebody tell you over and over again, it's almost really sad because you're saying, I don't believe in me, but will you? Please. Somebody, and that's part of my job as a pastor. When somebody says they don't believe in themselves, I'm going to stand in belief with them. I'm going to see them expressing as they can be. I'm not going to join them in their weakness. I have a lot of sympathy. Let me tell you, I have sometimes, I think, too much sensitivity and empathy. I really do. So I'll choke up at things that I just don't know why. But I'm not going to sit in front of the people that have come to me for help and join in the ain't it awful. I can say, what you went through was terrible. I wish you hadn't. What are we going to do about it now? And then when we start thinking and talking that way, and those who get it, you can almost see the lights come on them in their minds about the idea of, I haven't thought of myself like this before. You're telling me things I haven't heard before. I have seen a world of self-condemnation, of condemnation. I say the reason is because you condemned yourself. You're going to attract that. That's the frequency of which you're living. It's not that hard. We make it hard with our drama. We think our drama is holy. Our drama is to teach us a lesson, to let it go, to be new, to be renewed by the transforming of your mind, to step us, this is wonderful, releasing those things which are past and pressing forward toward the mark of the high calling. And what is that? An ultimate expectancy of good. Each one of you has this power. It may be latent, it may be dormant, it may have been misused. You may have tried a lot of things. Seminars, books, talking to other people, seeing a pastoral counselor, seeing a therapist. Go down the list. Have you tried looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, I am a child of the living God. And the Christ, or the Buddha, or the hot Brahman, or the higher self, whatever you want to call it, resides in me. And I'm determined to walk in this newness of life. You do that, and all the power of the universe rushes in behind you. It may not seem like it at first. You may feel very lonely. Those thoughts are going to be lonely. New thoughts occupying a mind that has been saturated with can't, won't, don't, shouldn't. Takes time. See those things let go and accept the truth. You get what you expect. You get also what you inspect. Inspect what you want. See that it's for you. See that you're not living someone else's dream life. Somebody who told you you should, or someone who wants to live their life through you. Haven't you seen parents that drive their children mercilessly to be and do the things that they couldn't do without regard for what the children wanted to do? I was so blessed. I had a father that was interested in anything I was interested in, and boy, I had some strange interests. I love lights, and back when I was a kid, those fixtures that were in the 50s that came out that looked like cones, I was just mesmerized by them. My father went and bought me a couple of them. He said, I don't know how to hook them up, but we'll get something. We'll do something. And then it was how people that, like Rockefeller, how he made his fortune. There were just certain things that they were for me. And what I found out was, that was the latent part of me coming to an expression. This was the self of me, not to be condemned, not to say how different I was, but it was something to be nurtured. And I had that. And I swore in ministry that I was going to do this too. The time begins to escape me, and I have so much more I want to tell you. I hope you'll come back next week. But I'll tell you this. Expect the best. Expect the best from yourself and from this world. There'll be times you'll be disappointed. That's part of this. But the other part of that is you get to choose again. If you keep choosing in favor of yourself and who you really are, it comes true for you, because it is you. God bless you, and thank you. And now we come to the part of our service where we're privileged to give back as we receive. And I ask you to give the best gift of which you're able, especially during this time of year. We have so much that we do here, and you know about it. You read about it in your bulletin. I'm not going to take the time to tell you and brag on this church. I can do that all day. But you all know it. Those of you who tune in, it's just something you have to see. And I say, if you're able, come. You'll be blessed by it. So right now, as Bob comes forward, I ask you to give the best gift of which you're able. And those of you who are tuning in online, I ask for your gifts. And you're so generous, and we appreciate it so much. Our online Church of the Air. Again, it's Unity of Vernon, P.O. Box 1973, Vernon, Texas 78006, or just press the PayPal button at the bottom of the page.
I have received free I give. Divine love through me, this is all that I am, all that I give and receive. Divine love through me, this is all that I am, all that I give and receive.
And together with great gratitude in our hearts and with thankfulness, we say, Divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I send it forth with my blessings and love. My love, so it is.
The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is all is well.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us again today. This is Tom. I'm usually here on Sunday, and I want to personally invite you to come and hang out with me during the service and see what they're talking about when they say they're seeing about that exactly. And here it is what kept me here for over 10 years. I want to invite you to come and experience it once for yourself. I think it will give you for being a part of this big old world and a big family. Part of that. We're part of that family. We enjoy your so whether you're here on whether you can make it into the building on a Sunday morning or not, you are special. You are reminded. You are my sister. Come and find out how it feels. Can you be years I do. Come along wonderful and fulfilled from our here in
They make money every Christmas. No more.
What's still going on? Imagine that. It's been a bit of a hang up.
You want to take it from here? Yep.
That's a pretty one. I love it.
Sell that one.
I told my I got a little smaller one that someone gave me years ago, and it's not, it was so delicate. It was handmade, but it was made with smaller beads, all of that, and I'm thinking about maybe I can use but you'd have to wait a couple of weeks for me to get you that money. I don't know, you may be needing money soon.
I know where you live.
Whoa! Yes, I do.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
You gotta go to somebody.
You knew it. You'd get one in my hand.
I made it for somebody. I don't know. When I make one,
sure.
I don't know who I'm making it.
You know, you leave that part open. So
There's land somewhere.
yeah, you leave that end point open.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, take it. 30. You better take a cruise with the food and then we'll decide.
Yeah, I know that. How did you know?
Well, that's okay.